Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's live stream. We are live and we are doing question time, a live stream where you get asked whatever question you want about Unreal Engine or game dev or anything you want, really, and we answer them live here on the show. And just as we're about to begin, I think I'm going to sneeze, so apologies. Very professional. Always professional. How is everyone doing? 5.6 is out. We are going to be in 5.6 today, so we'll be having a look at that. So it's going to be interesting look at that. We'll take a look at some of the features. I've barely looked at it. I've had only a moment to look at it today, but we can definitely make some progress. Hopefully there's not too much noise in here. I've got the fan on, 'cause it's really hot quickly in here. Let us know if it gets too annoying. I can turn it off. But yeah, so if you want to know how this works, all you've got to do is put your questions in the chat, and we'll try and grab as many as we can. Meanwhile, let's jump in and take a look at Unreal 5.6 and see what's there. So here we are in Unreal 5.6, and we're currently in a new first-person template. A couple of things. When you're in the first-person template, I noticed that by default, that may change relatively soon. At least for me it was anyway. By default, the pawn class was wrong for me. I had to change it personally to FP shooter. Just heads up. But that allowed me then to run around with the first person character. And if you want to make a pickup weapon, you'll find those all in the blueprint folder for the shooter variant. So pickups, and we go pickup. And we can go over in a details panel and choose what pickup is going to be from the data table they're using. And we're going to make a rifle. And go over to that. And we'll pick it up. There we go. They've got these really cool Nerf gun things now. They're quite nice. But anyway, they've introduced some new templates for you to work on. They're pretty neat. We can dive into the code and see how they work. They're pretty standard stuff, really. Nothing really special going on there. Other changes that I've noticed. Obviously, we've got the bar at the top here. All they've done is basically moved what was on the right to the left and what's on the left to the right. Yeah, But I did notice a few other things that were in here quite neatly. So if I was to put in a character, okay, I'll put this character in, and I've already added a socket to them. But if I were to bring in a mesh of some kind, so let's bring in, I don't know, cylinder. Something like this, and I want to attach it to him. You've got new snapping tools now. So over here, go to the snap tools. You can turn on other ones. So usually you have location, rotation, and scale snaps, but you can also have things like socket snaps. So as you can see, it highlights the sockets on this mesh now. And I can just, the way this works is you click on the actor you got, and then you click on the socket. So if I click on this socket here, that's now attached. No, it should be. Oh yeah, it's because it's set as static. Make it movable, and then attach it. Yeah, and you'll see over here is now attached to that socket there. And if I were to put an animation on this guy, you'll see. Like this. Where are you? You see, it's attached, and that was a socket I made on the spine bone. So it's pretty neat. Thing to do. Yeah, quite like that. But yeah, so that's quite cool. If you want to detach it, it's just right click, detach, like anything else, and then you can move it around as freely as you want. But yeah, that's kind of cool. They added some new snap tools here, and there's a few others as well. Other benefit they've added as well is in modeling mode. They made the menu that was a special hidden menu that no one really knew about, because you had to click on like the settings and turn it on and restart the engine, yeah, all sorts of things. It's now up here, so you can select the parts of a mesh a lot easier. So if I bring out a cylinder like that, accept, I can now click on individual elements of the poly groups. So we saw the vertices, there's the edges. I can select that and edit it pretty quickly without having to go into different windows and things like that, which is pretty neat. And I can set the face. Yeah, so that's handy. It's there now. It used to be like a little side window you had on the side here, but you had to enable it. And yeah, I don't know why it was never turned on by default. It's useful. But yeah, so looks like we've got a few more things going on up here too. But yeah, that's pretty neat too. Another big difference they added was MetaHuman's now in the engine. You have to enable it. It's a plugin you have to enable. When you do enable it though, you will find MetaHuman characters are in here. You go MetaHuman character, and you can open it up. You do have to install some data. It warns you about having data installed to help speed things along. I haven't got it installed, and we ran out of time, so I couldn't do it before the stream. But apparently, it's somewhere. It tells you where to find it. Yeah, here. See. So now we've got this inside the engine, saving us a few steps, which is pretty neat. Okay. Yeah. Anyway. Other than that, some general improvements to rendering. Nanite foliage is now proper and in the engine now. Little nitpick, the things are a lot smaller now up here. It's just like it's a little bit more okay. Yeah, that's about it. But you can see level sequence is now part of this as well. I don't think it was there before. And same with animation blueprint, I don't think it was up there before. I could be wrong, but those two are new in this little shortcut menu here too. But yeah. So yeah, let's start answering some questions that come through here. Hello. Can we make an Android game with a simple swipe system? Yeah, of course you can. So the main thing is when you're doing the inputs, also I can't show you this fully because we can't do that over the live stream, but basically it all comes down to your input to get the swipe stuff in there. So let's say that's the swipe one. And then I give that to the mapping context. Okay. Okay. In your drop-down menu for choosing this, you've got different motions like touch and gesture. So touch, you've got touch 1, touch 2, all the way up to 10. That's for touching with fingers. So 10 is 10 fingers, so it can handle 10 touches. So if you want to do a 2-finger tap, that's touch 2. Okay, but otherwise you want gesture, which is pinch, flick, and rotate. So a swipe is basically a flick. Do that, and then you can output the directional vector. It gives you a 2-dimensional vector, which you need to tell it to be on the input action. Yeah, and that's basically it. Works just like any other like arrow key type stuff. You get directional data out of that. Yeah. Michael Cole Jensen, I installed a 5.64 release when I make a cube grid now, or anything under modeling mode, create my character can walk through it. Didn't happen in Unreal 5.5.4. Anyone know what's going on? I can have a guess. I haven't looked at this yet, but I can have a guess at what's going on here. So in previous versions, when you made anything, so let's make a cube grid quickly. Yeah, like that. And we'll pull, push, oh, and pull, and then okay, something simple like that. So in previous versions, they automatically applied it as complex collision, and that doesn't look like it's the case anymore. Looks like they've not turned it on, which is handy because a lot of the time you didn't actually want complex collision because it can be quite a pain in the butt. So if you want to do that, just go into your stake mesh, and you have to add collision to it the old-fashioned way, or you can turn it to complex collision if you so wish. Ooh. So if we go to show, it's going to really confuse me that I swapped these two things around. There's no way to drag and move it over, is it? No, okay. Where have they moved it? Camera speed, that's that. Show flags, there we go. Simple collision. You can see it's empty, so you have to add your own to it. And you can do it for the collision menu, add a box collision. And you can add multiple of these if you want. You know, whatever you want to do. Alternatively, if you want to take the cheap, not cheap, the quick way out, it's more expensive though, is to change it, use complex collision. So, collision complexity. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, just change it to use complex collision as simple, and that should stop it from through it. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's how it was in the previous versions. Looks like they changed it somehow. I don't know, but yeah. Question, when it comes down to anti-cheat server side, what's the best way to make sure someone can't edit the values protecting the server side values? Well, they don't think you understand it. So if all your values are on the server side, how are they going to be editing these values? They can't. You're not changing values. You can only read the values. Unless you make one of the players a server where they store that information, then yeah. There's not going to be any sort of like surefire fix for cheating in general, but there's also anti-cheat services out there ready for various things. But I mean, protecting the server-side values is part of protect your server, basic stuff like that. It's usually encrypted, which makes it a bit harder still. But yeah. As in, they send whichever values they wish, and the server just takes them. Like, which values you're talking about? Because everything should be handled on the server side. They're not, like, normally when in a game, you're not changing values. You're requesting the server to change values. That is all. and then the server can do checks to make sure you can actually do that. So you're not like, I'm gonna change my stamina and then send it over to the server. That's not going to work. You're asking the server to change the stamina value. The server then goes through the checks and balances to make sure it can do that, and then it changes it and updates you the new stamina value. Just like if when you go to pick up an item, you're not picking up the item and telling the server like, hey, I picked up an item, give it to me. You're saying, hey server, pick up the thing that you're looking at right now. And the server will look at the character, look at where they're looking, pick it up, and then use it and add it to the inventory. And then update to you and tell you that you've updated your inventory. So there shouldn't be anything that you are telling the server what the value should be. It's always requesting permission from the server to do something. And the server just goes in and does the stuff. When you plan to drop the new save system video, working at a couple of little bugs on it. But once I'm happy with those bugs being fixed, we'll put it out there. Not bugs, just like features almost. We're making sure that we've got everything kind of covered that people would want. But yeah. M Gaming, I'm making a wave-based game. I was wondering, can you make an environmental damage system where in every wave an environmental hazard spawns in and the player has to avoid it? Yeah, of course you can. I mean, yeah, it's just an actor that's going around and doing stuff. Obviously, I don't know what kind of things you have in mind, but if you were doing a big tornado, you have a big tornado actor, and you just go around the map, and if it hits someone, deal damage. And if it's a randomizer, just put them all in an array and randomize it. Austin Alanda, any tips for making physics objects feel more realistic? When a capsule is spinning on its axis, it won't fall over even at super low speeds. It should do. We don't have a capsule there. Hang on. Don't see why it wouldn't. So add a capsule collision, make it the root, and then tell its collision to be block all, and enable physics. Which we won't be able to see, so let me just put in something here. Don't know, I have a capsule thing. I'll put a cylinder in. Oh, that's not a cylinder. What's going on there? Cylinder. Just do that. Screw it. And this thing's not going to have any collision. Okay. Yeah, so this thing, I'll just tell simulate physics. Yeah, it should just roll around. I'll tell you what I'll also do. I'll make the capsule not hidden in game. There you go. And just chuck it into the level. I'll put it on the edge here. In fact, I'll scale up a little bit too to make it easier to see. But it should just, yeah, well, just fine. So I can't say I know what you're referring to. I can't say I've never had that experience. I can't say I've ever seen it, but that looks pretty okay to me. Obviously it goes by weight as well, so this is like a fairly light object. Yeah. If you want to add more weight to it, you go to the capsule and you add more mass to it. So it was 34 kilograms, that's going to be 100 kilograms. So now it'll be a bit more chunky. Yeah. And even more so, we can go back to there and add even more. We'll go change it to 1,000 kilograms. Yeah, it's a little bit harder to push now. But I can't say I know When it's spinning on the end. Huh? It does that wobble where it keeps the top off the ground, which is a normal behavior. It's not so there's no weight in the top. Like when it's spinning on an end, like a top. The top off the ground, which is a normal behavior. I mean, you can always add more weight to the top. So a thing you should be thinking about if you are making like a spinning top type thing, the weight of a spinning top is going to be a different location from the center. It's not. I don't know whereabouts it would be, but I'm not a spinning pop or Beyblade expert. But you go to the capsule over here, and in the physics, you can go down and change in the advanced section the center of mass. Maybe adjust that to get what you want to mess around with. I don't know where it actually is on that, whether it's low or high. I'm guessing it's low. So you bring it down like -50. And we're not going to really notice it here, I guess. Oh, there you go. So it's like in the bottom, like a little wobble wobble. It's like one of those like inflatable clown things. That's pretty fun. Ooh. Yeah, so you can mess about the center of mass, but other than that, I'm not too sure. I'd have to see it to understand exactly what you're experiencing. I can't say I've ever had that experience with physics actors before. How would you ragdoll an NPC without separating the mesh from the capsule component? You can't. So the reason why you can't do it is because when you enable physics on it, it has to detach from its container. So whatever it's part of the world in. And it has to be part of the world simulation now. And therefore it will detach from anything that's attached to. So you can't. So if you want to reattach it, you can totally do that. Just bear in mind that if you move the capsule component, you have to also move the mesh to match the same world position. So, yeah, be aware of that issue. But no, there's no way to do it without detaching it from the capsule. How do you manage animals' collision that don't fit in the capsule of the character BB? So, a couple of things. So, first of all, there is a new mover plugin they're Unreal developing. It's not out yet, it's not ready yet, but that would solve that problem. But until then, you can do it the way everyone else has done it for God knows how long. And you can use a capsule still, just shrink it down to like a ball shape. But then you're using line traces and things like that to work out whether or not it can move in a particular area or a particular place. Or if you're using physics-based movement, just add physics objects to the front and back of it. You can also do that. Yeah. No problem, Michael. Glad it helped. Mistrada, what do you think about the new way to render foliage in UE5? Yeah, it's cool. I mean, yeah, it's good. It was something that they've been saying for a couple of years now that they want to get in there, nanite foliage. So that's really cool that it's in there now. Hopefully we will see some good use of it and optimized use of it. But yeah. Can you show an example of animal stuff? Possibly. Hold on. Let's bring an animal in first. I'll tell you what, it'd be quite a fun one to do. Yeah, I've got to update it. Hold on. Okay. So, what I've done is I've made... I'm making a new character here. Called my BP Dragon. Got to put in a dragon character. And we'll bring in the mesh. There's a dragon. So obviously, he's not going to fit a capsule. Yeah, even no matter what size I make it. So you wanted the capsule to be like a ball shape around him. Okay, because he's quite large. So I'm going to go back to capsule. And it's going to be basically a sphere, essentially. So we'll get the rough size of the height of it. Also, you need to bring him down because his root is on the floor there. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And then we go back to the capsule and increase the radius to get the rough thickness of the character. It may not even be a sphere, it may be something else, but yeah, we'll go for a sphere. Okay, so we've got a sphere design going on now. Next, I need to add some camera work for him. Hold on. So we'll do a spring arm. And turn that not to have a collision test. Add a camera to it. So we can see what we're doing. Give it a long arm. Oh, I realised it's facing the wrong way. Yep. Spring arm. There. Cool. Okay. And use pawn control rotation. Okay. Next, I'm going to turn off the yaw controller. Like so. And we'll just chuck it in here with some basic movement stuff for a second. Get player controller. Enhanced. Add mapping context. Sure. Default one of those. And then a... no, what's it called? Move? What I called it? I move. There you go. And then we're going to do add movement input. Split that. This be X, and that be the right vector. So get actor right vector, and we're going to. Actually, no. We want to get control rotation. Get right vector of that. In fact, I just want to get the Z-axis for that. There we go. Okay, that's that one, and we'll do it again for forwards. Fine. So there's nothing new. This is the same stuff you see on the other ones. So the right vector, we're going to do get forward vector. And then I want IA look. And we're going to do add your view of Y. Add pitch. Oh no, you'll be X, sorry. Pitch is the Y. Right, let's just see if that works. We just change this to use my dragon. Baby dragon. Yep. My look isn't moving. I'm guessing I used the wrong input action for that because I saw there's another one. Mouse look, maybe? Let's take a look at that now. Nope. Yeah, why is that not working? It moves, but I can't move the camera. Definitely told you to use pawn control rotation, didn't I? Double check that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Double check that is the right one. Hold on. Make sure I'm using the right inputs. Damage. Shoot. Swap. If I did it, it's a child of this one. Oh, IA, yeah, IA look, yeah. Yeah? Why is it not working then? No, that's annoying. What's going wrong? Let's check, make sure I'm using the right input mapping context. This one, IA look, yep. Yeah. It must work because obviously it works for. Oh! They only attached it with the right thumbstick. Let's add the mouse. X, Y to the axis. There we go. Okay, so. The issue that we got is obviously the clipping that happens around them. Okay. And that's because we've only got a sphere, basically. So what you do is, as you're moving, you're doing checks to see if you have any spaces space in front of you to move to. Same when you move in any direction you're about to head into. So, on our dragon, you're going to do basically, you can do a sphere trace, or really whatever you want, or capsule trace. But we'll call it movement trace. It's up to you what shape you want to use. I'll just do a sphere trace for simplicity. Sphere trace by channel. And we'll put that in for visibility be fine. Start position, get actor location. And the end point is the location plus the forward vector you're going towards. So what direction you wanting to aim at. And we can get that because that comes from IA move. We can get the X and Y from that. So if we just go and get the IA move values like that, I can now work out which direction I want things to go. So let's split this and then split this. Oh, not split it just yet. I want to multiply it first. Multiply it by the speed I want to go at. So just go get a character walk speed. Fine. Like that. Put that in there. Put that in there. And I'll put a debug on so you can see what's happening here. The radius, I'm going to try and make the same size as my capsule. So 185. 185. Like that. And we'll just return that value there. Okay, I'll make it a pure function. So on here, this scale value, I can multiply that by whether or not I can move or not. Okay, so let me actually rephrase this one and say not Boolean. No. In fact, I don't want to be with that high of radius. Let's do 100. And we'll do 150. You don't want to clip through the floor. That's the problem you know as well. So, yeah, if it's not that, we take that out. And we take the scale value here, multiply this scale value by This. No, I think I've got that right. Oh, wrong direction. Well, you can kind of see what it's doing. Get move X and Y. Oh, yeah, I need, sorry. I need to make this multiplied by control rotation. Control rotation. Something like that. Yeah. I still done it wrong. Nope, no, it works in some directions, but not in the other. I think it's gonna make some wires tied up the wrong way, but you can see what it does basically. It's that sort of thing where you're just doing line traces everywhere to find out what way you're moving to. You can also do it by velocity too as well if you wanted to. So rather than doing that, you get the velocity of that, and we want to run that, put in there because velocity is also speed and direction. So, as you can see, I can use that to sort of detect where there's a wall. And if I want to stop him from moving into it, though, I need to do something better than that. And we'll just do this. Screw it. X. Yeah. So the problem that one has is that it's based on velocity, and so as you can see, it's flickering back and forward really quickly, and that is because it's stopping us from moving, therefore velocity goes down, which means it's free to move, it'll move forwards, and so on. So you do that check there on like which direction they would be going, multiplied by the actual speed they're going to be. So if we normalize this and then multiply that by the speed, so that way it's constant, it should stop us. Yeah, there you go. Obviously, it's not super accurate because we're not taking. You've got to take into account like the surface of the floor and what angle it's going at. But generally speaking, that is what you're doing in most games. Is you're checking to make sure that your character can walk through these spaces. I don't know. Oh yeah, it's like why have we got random music that's not meant to be? Ugh, let me put this music on. Yeah, just it went on to random playlists. Yeah. So, and I can change this to move basically on its movement orientation. Make it a bit slow as well. Okay. Would changing the collision from simple to complex achieve the same thing? No. You can't have complex collisions on a skeletal mesh. So yeah. It won't work. This is a static mesh, then yeah, you can do. But it only works if you're doing physics-based movement. So the movement system that we've just used here, the main one that you're most familiar with, isn't physics-based. It's going to physically move it into a position. If you want physics-based, then yeah, you can do whatever you want with that. Yeah. Thank you, Julian Milo. Thank you. Overbeck Studios. Is it possible to make a material that can be used as a light box with controls for gradient fall off around the perimeter without using a texture? It needs to detect the edge to apply any flat shape. Any flat shape. I mean, yeah. I mean, everything's possible. So for this, I'm going to change to a plane. Again, they've moved stuff up here too. I don't know why they do this. Anyway, got that there. You've got a couple of things you can do. So you can do gradients to work out, like, get the edges faded in the way you want to fade them in. So you can do things like linear gradients, or use the UV maps if you want, and multiply them together. So you can do that. So for example, if I take the U gradient here and multiply that with the U gradient, oh, I was gonna say, that's 1 minus. You get that sort of gradient going on there. It's still faded out because 0.5 times 0.5 means you're going to get 0.25 in the middle. So usually you need to multiply that again by 4 to get it more accurate to where you want it to actually be. Okay. So there's that, and then you also combine it with another one. This time V gradient, and multiply that by 4, and then multiply these two together. Okay, you get this gradient around the edges type thing. If you want to control the strength of that value, you can modify this 4 value that's going into here. Because as I said, what we're doing here is we're taking the gradient in the middle of that gradient, measure the value, middle of the point is 0.5. So 0.5 times 0.5, which is what this is doing, is going to give us 0.25. That's why I multiplied by 4 to get it up to white. So the middle part is white. If you bring that down, then that won't be the case. Yeah, you can make it, you can change it that way. And alternatively, you can also use probably a curve editor to curve it as well if you wanted to, and remap it. Essentially, that's what you're doing, is remapping the shades out like that. So if we do a curve, okay, so I'll do a color curve. Where am I going? Miscellaneous curve, color, whatever. I'm not naming anything today. And then we go and create a curve atlas. So if you want to use curves in your materials, you need a curve atlas. There's a curve atlas, and then you add your curve to the curve atlas down here. And there's that one. And let's go edit our curve. There's our curve, basic stuff. Yeah, if the value is 0, it'd be black. If the value is 1, it'd be white. Yeah, so if I apply this to material, it will look exactly the same. So we're going to get the curve, and we do curve atlas row parameter. Yeah, curve atlas row parameter. Put in the atlas. Yeah, no, wrong. That one. And then you choose the curve, and you put in the value here. Okay, so it goes in there, it goes into there. So it's going to look exactly the same, But I can modify this if I wanted to. So if I want to bring black up a little bit more, I can do that, for example. And I'll go back to material, and it's going to fade in the edges a bit more. And obviously we can manipulate that value if you wanted to as well. It's just this curve time that goes into this. And this is also how you do things like changing the colors if you want to remap the colors to it. So I can change it to like this sort of pink here, and that'll work over here too. Yeah. Maybe I want it at this point. I want to do a different color. Maybe I want to go purple. Go from purple to pink. And over here we got purple to pink. So the curves are probably going to be the more fun way of doing this. But yeah, you can set that down to 0 there. Bring that down there. Oh. And there's your material. So yeah, you can control the edges by doing that. If you want that to be multiplied out, what you can think of, like, if you want to be like modified and things like that, if you think about the value going into this, you have to do is take away from the value. So the value going into here is that range. If I want to bring it down, I can take this and go, all right, take away 0.1. Okay, and that give me a thicker edge around it. 0.25. 0.5. Yeah, so you can do things like that. And that can be parameterized out if you want to make it a parameter. Yeah. Or animated via sine wave. Do a little thing like that. Yeah. So, yeah, have fun with it, play around with it. But yeah, curves are a pretty fun way of doing that. Yeah, and yeah, have fun with it. Rather than, okay, if your shape is a pentagon rather than a flat square. Okay, so if you want to detect the edges of the mesh, a little bit trickier. Let's actually test that with an actual mesh. Let me make a pentagon mesh. Let's just go for a cylinder. Turn it down to 5. And you say it's flat, so let's take off. Let's just apply it just one flat surface there. So we can go. Well, actually, you said, is it plane? You said it was. If it was a plane, then what I'll do is I'll delete these faces. Okay, so it's got one face. Yeah, one face. So if I apply that to my material, let's go to there. Oh, wait, it's over here. Pick that mesh. Don't have it. Right. Yeah, because I've deleted things, the UVs are all messed up. So that won't work with this method. So to do the edge detection of this, I mean, you... don't know. Now you could modify the UVs, but like if it's a three-dimensional shape, you can detect edges with like a Fresnel. But when it's flat, you don't have that because Fresnels look at angle changes, so you can't work with that. You could look at scene depth maybe, but then if it's embedded in something else, it won't notice that either. Don't know. As I said, you could modify the UVs to your best you can. So I projected it down onto that, so it'd be a little bit better. But, you know, still not perfect. As you can see, it's a little bit off-centered and things. It's still square, it's just projected onto a not square shape. So, a little bit trickier. I don't know. I'll look into that. How can you detect the edge of a plane? I'm not entirely certain. Because there is the edge detection, but that's like nearest surface type edge detection, not edge of a polygon. Essentially, what you're doing. Yep, don't know. Maybe vertex colors. Oh, maybe vertex colors. Yeah. I forgot about DDX. Yeah. Or not come up at all. There you go. I forgot what it stands for. But you got DDX and DDY. And you could use these to kind of figure it out. You can vertex colors is not a bad shout. Especially if there's a vertex in the middle. So yeah, let's take a look at the vertex color method. Because you could do it that way. So we need to put a vertex in the middle. So we need to go to model, polygroup edit, set the face, and we want a poke. I can't remember if there's a poke in here. Not will. Let's go do it this way. Oh wait, I can't because of this. I guess I could actually do this. Actually, hang on. Could go there. I can't. I have to connect it. And then that's an interesting way of doing it, I guess. And then we can take off that one and delete the edge. And do that. Nope, okay. And then yeah, if I just color it, so mesh paint mode. I saw they actually changed some of this as well to allow my poor accuracy to allow you to texture paint, not vertex paint. Well, I haven't looked into it yet. There you go. Don't know why I didn't take the first time. Oh, didn't go to the vertex there, but never mind. Yeah, so using that vertex, you can use the vertex color to map into that curve sort of structure that we did. So, plug that into there. Good point. Just that do. I would have thought that would have worked. Yeah, oh, it has. Okay. Yeah. And then go back and edit the curve. Bring that in. Yeah, there you go. Not bad way of doing it. Next question. Rebecca Jewel. Hello. Headphones not working. I can't type into chat right now. Any tips? This is from EL Prologue. Hi, any tips on how to improve MetaHuman performance? Yeah, so you want to limit their LOD sync. So I'm not using MetaHuman on this guy, obviously, but same concept. So on your character, add an LOD sync to it, and force it, force LODs down to 2 or something. 2 is usually quite a good one to go for. That just brings it down to a more game-friendly mesh count. So yeah, vertex count. So force LODs with LOD sync. Next one is go through the textures and bring them all the way down. They're usually really high res, so bring them down to 1K texture, 2K texture, something like that. And also get rid of things like there's like reflection maps for the eyes and teeth and gums. Crap you don't need. Get rid of it. Yeah, so just go through all that sort of stuff one by one, clean it up, get rid of it, and then it'll be pretty good. Nova, on MetaQuest Pro, I want to bring the entire room detection and space setup process inside my app. Ideally, the app would automatically scan and map the environment on first use. I don't believe that's how it works. I haven't tried it myself, but from what I remember, like the APIs of that, it can't. It has to rely on the data that comes from the headset. And that gets piped into the Apple game. If you want to do game-based ones, obviously in the access to API, I don't know if that's available to you. If it is, I don't know if it is. I don't know how you would access it. But usually that data is fed from the device. I guess for security reasons and things like that. But I'm not entirely certain. Have a good night, Michael. Inez, should I create my own object pool for visual effects or use the built-in system? It depends on like what it is you're trying to do, like visually. But rely on first of all, always rely first of all on the built-in systems, and measure your performance against that. And if it comes down to like, actually no, it's not performant, I need to do something myself, then you can go ahead and make something yourself. Yeah. Spicy water, TJ. Interesting. Rank 10 or McDonald. Hello, how to make. There's an actor-like chest. When player look at it, icon showing above it. When the camera rotate 180 icons on the screen, but clamped on the left and right side, arrow showing rotation direction. Ah, okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can do it. This may be the last one. I don't know. We'll see how much time we have left. Let me just change this to use the first person guy again. And let's make an actor. We'll use this guy. Okay, and I'll just turn off the old physics. So you need a widget above them. Okay, so that'd be a widget component. and obviously the widget. Open that widget up, and we'll give it a shape like this. Change the color of it. Okay, and on here I'm going to give it that widget. Widget. Have they changed things around? It's down here now. New widget blueprint. So bring that way down. Okay, above it, like you were saying, little rotation thing. Okay. Scene. Let's make sure that's all hunky dory. Oh, my look's inverted. Oh, it's because I added mapping context. Hold on. Input. It's because I added this. Yeah. Where are you? There he is. Okay, so first of all, that thing all needs to show us. So we need to change it from being rendered in world space to screen space. Okay, there it is. And as you can see, it will face me no matter what, and it's off the screen there. But what you want it to do is, obviously, when it's off the screen, to clamp to the sides for a little bit. You want to get sticky with it. So we need to get the widget for that. And it needs to know where it is being rendered on the screen. So if you get position, what's it called? Position? Could be wrong. Hold on. No, on screen. I can't remember what it's called now. In viewport. Yeah, there you go. It's in viewport. There you go. If it's in viewport, you can make it do different things. Like if you want to change the appearance of it to be like an arrow or whatever, you can totally do that, right? So let's say I change the color of it, for example. So if in viewport, we set color, brush color, select color. Otherwise, okay. Okay, so now it's going to be orange. I can't see that it's orange because I was not clamping. So we need to clamp it to the screen. So we're going to get this position. I don't know actually if that'll work still now. I don't know. I done it for my chicken game that I made. And we did it in that. Get screen. Screen space position. No. I cannot remember what it's called now. Screen. Is it this one I used? Cannot remember. I think I done project while to screen. Controller. The position of it is the actor this belongs to. So hold on, let's just get rid of that for a second. We need to get the owner of this actor. Get. Oh, I don't know if you can do it this way. I can't remember if I did it this way or not. Get owner. Get owning. Get. Get actor. Yeah, wrong one. Get parent. Maybe it was parent. Get parent. No. What was it? It was literally something like get the position of it on the screen, and then if it's outside the realms of the screen, change location and clamp it to the position. But I can't remember what the hell it was now. I can't remember. Well, one thing I can do, I guess, I'll do a workaround. We'll make an interface for the UI widget. So BPI UI, and it'll be set actor, whatever, and that's going to send over the actor reference like that. And then on my widget, I'm going to set it to have that interface. So go down here to interfaces, set it to BPI UI. Set that up. Happens here. And I'll promote that to a variable. That's the actor. And then on here, I can get the actor's position. Oh, actor position, sorry. Actor location. Like so. The Boolean means that it's on the screen or off the screen. Okay. So when you project the world to screen, we do that. We'll change color of it. Well, actually, let's just clamp it to the screen first. I want to clamp axis 2D, and this will be the viewport size. So split that. Oh wait, no, can't do that. Hang on, we have to split it first. Right, clamp that. Clamp vote, and that'll be X there. Obviously 0 is the minimum. Y there, and I just realized we can't do it like this because you can't have it as a widget component, because the widget component is attached to the actor. Don't know. I have to look into that one. You check the viewport size, subtract the widget size. You can clamp it, but I think the problem is making it work as a widget component. I don't think it works as a widget component because it's stuck in rendering in screen space and attached to that location. Yeah. Could you do it with widget? So I'm trying to think how I did it in Chicken, and maybe I didn't do it with a widget component in Chicken. Maybe I did it with standard widget, because it's a 2D game. So there wasn't a case of like, oh, it shouldn't be behind me. It's off the screen or not off the screen. I could try this. I don't think it'll work. Yeah, no. And you'll want it to be a widget component if you want this icon to be above the chest, hovering there. Jason Tarr, I'm not sure if you saw my question in Discord, but I've got a mind blank on the website you mentioned in the past, showing how levels in some retro games are designed. Yeah, noclip.website. Maybe set the owner of the widget manually, like when you create the widget set of the owner. Could do. But it still comes down to not setting. It's the not ownership of the widget. It's attached to a widget component. So I could change where the widget component goes, maybe. Set the location of it in the what, but that might get a bit really messy really quickly. I'm gonna look into it. I'll spend some time looking into that because that's an interesting one. I say I've done it with the other methods, but like two-dimensional sort of appearance to it, but never three-dimensional, which with a widget component. The alternative method would be like when you go up to it, the widget will then appear on your HUD as if it's any icon. Then you just clamp it like I just did, just there. But yeah, but that's different because it's part of your widget component. It's part of your UI. This isn't. It's an interesting proposition. I'll look into it. But yeah. Hey Ryan, hope you're well. Is there a setup to tell you what floor someone is on which involves a master landscape material for footstep sound effects? Yep, so you need to have your physics surfaces set up. So you go to project settings. And type in surface. So you define your surfaces down here. Okay. Whatever ones you want. And then you have to make a physics material and attach it to the materials that you have access to. If it's a landscape, it still works exactly the same. It's just landscape material right here. So like normally in here you have your physics material, which is what's tied to the surface, right? So phys material here. And like, for example, there's like metal here. You open up these up and you can see, you can set the surface type to whatever you want. But with obviously a landscape, there's loads of different things involved. So with landscapes, you can do a physical material output here too. And that's going to change based upon what layers you have available to you. So landscape layer sample. That ain't right. Layer blend, that's the one. You put that in there. The various things, so it'd be grass, mud, yeah. Then you got the physics output over here, and you assign these to the same order as these ones. So that'll be assigned to your grass, this one for example, and then index 1 that'll be assigned to cardboard, whatever. And you'll sample the layers into these. So landscape layer sample, and that'll be grass, and that'll plug into the grass one there. Okay, and then you do it again for mud, and put that in there, and that'll let you do the surfaces the way you want them to for landscapes. Yeah, so yeah, that's basically what you're doing. Landscape physical material output. But yeah, anyway, we'll have to end it there because it's getting very late here. So we're going to end it there for today. We are live again tomorrow doing a playtest of Mimic. There's a new build of Mimic going up tomorrow during the day. So those who wished and were part of the playtest last time will be playtested then this time. Hopefully these fixtures will be interesting to check out. We've got a few more things we want to check out there too. But yeah, if you want to come watch Mimic in action tomorrow, same time as our live stream today. No, same time as now, basically. It's a little bit later start. That'd be really great to get your feedback and get everyone else's ideas in mind. So yeah, be really cool. Other than that, we have some very interesting new changes coming to the channel. Something I've been wanting to do for a while, but never got around to actually doing it. But we've just put out a post on Patreon for everyone to read, and on the website, which details the structure of the new stuff for the channel. So the new stuff for the channel is that I mentioned before, there's going to be the larger series, like the inventory series or the cart series. Those will be now replaced with courses, and the courses will be basically launched as all-in-one, here to go, boom, the whole lot in one go, for the top tier patrons anyway. So there's no waiting around for me to actually get around to finishing the series. It'll be done. So that's the first big change. The other big changes are we're going to be introducing series themselves, so 10-episode series. We've got 2 announced. So Retro Remake will be continuing on as a series rather than a live stream. This allows it to come out at a more regular pace, and there's going to be a weekly release type thing with early access via Patreon. And then one I'm quite looking forward to and scared of a bit is one called Designed by Committee. So Designed by Committee Season 1, what the premise is that people on Patreon, and we may open it up to YouTube, we'll see, provide opinions or mechanics or design ideas, and we pick them out of a hat randomly at the start of each episode, and we build the game based upon the random hat of ideas. So after 10 episodes, we'll have a prototype for a game that may be completely broken, weird, and fantastic in other ways at the end of that series, but it's a way for you to be interesting and implement your opinions into the game, and yeah, see where it will go. It's quite a fun exercise, but yeah, that'd be really cool. But there are we have actually got plans for other series as well, but we'll announce them later on when we got them there. These are the 2 we want to start with. The regular videos, like the normal tutorial videos, they'll carry on as normal. Q&A, question time stuff, that will carry on as normal. Playtests for Mimic will carry on as normal, weekly shows. The main big difference is those big 20+ episode series things. They're going to be changing a little bit. So, yeah, look forward to these changes. I'm looking forward to getting them out there. Hopefully it'll be quite fun to see that going. Anywho, I'm off. It's very late. Have a good night, everyone. Take care, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Oh, and enjoy the Switch 2 if you can, Switch 2.